Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to Wiki Up Knoll. Thanks for joining us for another update. If you were with us last week, you know that I was working on building this little rubble layer for bags that will be a buttress wall and courtyard wall for the house. I have since finished this side and added the buttress wall to this side over here. This side over here will not be a courtyard area. It will be a planter box. Ultimately, it'll be used for that, but it'll act as a buttress for these two wall sections as well. It'll also serve to create sort of a cozy landscapey path from this corner of the house back interior of this future retaining wall and to a covered patio porch area on the back of the house. So we're at the, strangely, we're at the landscaping stage of the house, even though we're just above ground here. So this is exciting for me to see. We're going to start here today by starting laying the first layer of bags along here to tie all this in to the actual foundation of the house. And I have gone ahead and gathered my two types of native soil to mix. We'll be doing a 50-50 mix. This is more concentrated clay, and this is that decomposing granite sandy clay mix that came directly from the excavation of this area. So we'll be packing that and adding a little bit of water to moisten it so that we can compact it nicely for this section of the house. And when later should be moving back into the greenhouse for more work down there. All right, first bag of the courtyard is in. It's shaped and double tamped and all of the things. Our rubble layer is now locked in, acting like Velcro underneath to hold our bag steady and allow for drainage underneath. So now we're going to move to the other one. We're going to do this half in the same manner and then move to our little flower bed area. All right, second part of the courtyard is finished. Hooray. Well, the first layer is finished. So we have both of the courtyard buttress walls started with bags, locked in with their rubble layer. I also did my famous undershoot the length of the bag over here and ran out. So we had to, at the end of that last clip, get the extra piece and overlap it there. So, you know, whatever, it works. Next, we are going to have a water break because I'm hot and I'm tired. And then we're going to come back and do this other little half circle buttress on that side. There it is, another dirt sausage in the books. Good to go. So we've got the base of both half circle buttress walls in place. And next we have lunch. And then I believe our next bag for this video will be on that rubble layer you see along this retaining wall portion. We are moving right along. right, we have made it about a third of the way, which is exciting for me. The biggest thing is this area right here is a big old granite boulder, and under it is a massive, healthy ant colony of the biting variety. And so I'm dancing around over here trying to hurry up and get past it. I don't know that you can see it on there, but if you've seen me dancing around, it's because those little boogers are after me. They're mad about me doing all that tamping and banging in there. So I'm almost past that, a couple more feet, and I'll be beyond their territory. We'll have to put some diatomaceous earth out for those little boogers. Over here, I started a little further back from our rubble layer, because right about here, I'm going to still in the future sculpt this little section back. You can see how the hillside drops off back here, and we've got this flat area back here. I'm going to be sculpting this back to be flat, because this area will be our fully covered back patio area, back porch. And then we want for our wall, our retaining wall, to come around here and then gently swoop around that way and taper off down the hill. So I'm preparing for that now by stopping the bag here and leaving myself some space before the next layer. The next layer I'll start a bit further back so that I can leave myself some space to join in the next portion of the wall in that direction when the time comes. So that's what we're doing. We're going to continue on in this direction and stop when we get about over there. Okie dokie, we have finished the longest bag of my life. And we have the first bag of this retaining wall, as well as our courtyard and planter box buttress area here. Now it is time to go down and continue work in the greenhouse. So we'll see you there in a few. Okay, you saw us do these 3 sections off camera. We did the little corner over here by hand, and we did the corner on this side where we had a little teeny baby bag and one on top. So we've gotten that done. We are going to continue. We've also been backfilling as we go. I think you're seeing some of that on camera. We have switched from the brought in gravel to more of our native decomposed granite and large stone mixture for behind. So now everything below about this level is that small gravel that you saw earlier in earlier weeks, and now it's more native soil and granite mixture. So we're going to keep on going and see what that looks like. Okay, I'm feeling good about this morning's progress. It is now time for us to take a little water break, and then we'll be back at it, see if we can get more on the east side done this morning. Okie dokie. 3 more sections are down. We had our water break and now it's time for lunch. I know time lapse goes quickly, but whew, it doesn't here. So we have 4 more sections on this wall, and we probably will do that tomorrow. You'll see what comes next. We also have some other things scheduled for tomorrow, so I don't know what we're going to do next on the video. But right now, we've done all but 4 sections of the east wall. Feels good, and it's time for lunch. Good morning. It is the next day for us. I have some twine and a big needle. Got some repairs to make in the chicken coop. I also have some divisions to make in there. So John and I are going to be working because we have to pretty soon introduce our old flock to our new flock because they're getting big enough to come out. And these girls in here have just had a molt. You can see the feathery mess. So some of them are looking pretty bedraggled. They've had their molt for fall. So we're gonna deal with cleaning things out, getting things revamped for the season, and making room for the new ones to join in. Show you what that looks like shortly. Okay, you just saw me inside the coop cleaning out the tray below the roosting box, and John is out here working on reinforcing our post. It had come unwired because of wind, so we have shade cloth attached up here and a little rim around our recycled cedar post system here, and because of wind coming through, we've left wind gaps, but it has detached that. So he's reattaching that, and then it is time to trim some of our little trees in here so they don't get tangled in our shade cloth. And I need to repair this little rip in the shade cloth and still leave an opening for wind to pass through. So this is I think an 80% shade here, and then a different shade over there for the chickens to have lots of covered area for them to get around and be cool in. So we're going to work on that. And then our divider wall is going to come from this post over to about here, and our new chicks will be on that side and the older chicks will be on this side, so they can have this wall to get used to each other. We'll show you that part a little bit later. Okay, the sewing repair is complete. Won't win a beauty contest, but hopefully a functionality contest. There we are. So I've got that all in there. I need to make some little slits here in this area for when it snows up here. Sometimes the snow will gather there, so I need to give it a place to escape. I'll work on that later. John's over here doing the trimming. He's cutting the cat claw a little shorter, well below our shade cloth area. We use the shade cloth as shade, obviously, but we also use it as a predator barrier so they can't fly in and wreak havoc. So we're doing that, and then I will show you what's next. All right, John is making huge progress out here in the yard. I have been working inside the coop. I took out the old piece of linoleum that I used as a liner for the tray under the roosting area, and John is working around the corner in here. He's already gotten everything trimmed as far as the little trees go from the base and around the top for the season. And now we're separating out and getting rid of all the old molting feathers, because most of them are pretty much done with their molt. And I'll check back in when there's more to see. Okie dokie, area is cleaned up and ready for fall. Girls are still going through their molt. Some of them are looking fresh and some of them are still looking bedraggled, but they're getting there. I've gone around and sprinkled diatomaceous earth everywhere. We got Clementine sleeping in the background over there. So everything's ready for fall, and John finished this little temporary divider wall fence area. This will stay here open in this manner for about 4 days until we go ahead and move the other chickens over, so we don't stress these ladies out too much with all the new things. They have a new clean space and a divider wall that they'll be able to see through to their new little flock friends. And then I'll show you what I got done inside. Inside the coop, got an egg. Wanted to show you the new tray cover that I made for the area underneath the roosting bars. This is so that I can easily collect the manure for our garden. I cover it with Coop lime, which is an organic lime made for keeping down mites and things like that in the manure. And this is made, of course, with dog food bags. And next week, we still need to come in here before the new chicks arrive into the coop. We'll clean out in the floor and divide this area. The new chicks will be under here, roosting on their own bars. They have access to their yard through that door down there. And the older chickens can go through this door to their section of the yard until everybody is well used to each other and getting along, or ready to at least attempt it, and then we will join them up together in one big happy flock. So now we're going to stop with the coop so we don't stress these ladies anymore and go work a little bit more on the greenhouse. All right, 3 more sections done. The next, we're going to do 3 more. It's going to be one here to this little bump up, and then we're going to overlap it and then do one from here over. So it'll be 2 in a row and then a third one. And then we'll see where we are for the day. Okay, there is the corner again. You can see close up, we overlapped that one, and then we did this one, and I even wrapped it around this pole here, and then the next one here, filling the gap. And the next bag we do is going to go from here all the way over and lock that in one more time, and then we'll have a deep well for backfill right here. So we're going to keep at it, and then we got to keep at it and do the whole other side of this structure. Got a few more rounds to go down here, but we're making progress. It's moving up slowly. I hope you enjoyed the progress we made this week. And I hope you plan to join us back here next week at Wiki Up Knoll Off Grid, where we will continue our greenhouse, continue our house build, and we should be moving the little chickens in with the big chickens for their first glimpse at each other. So if you want to see more updates and find out what's happening next here at Wiki Up Knoll Off Grid, plan to join us back next Sunday, where we'll be here doing all those things and who knows what else.